Cygames has done it again. It seems like they got in the habit of releasing a bombshell news every other week now. Originally, I was planning on making a simple video to just use your SSR Selector and a limit breaker on your Kitasan black and just call it a day. However, with the new balance adjustment, they came out from nowhere 4 months earlier than what JP and the KR server gotten. Cygames literally changed everything. It's a brand new era. Cygames put all the JP and KR veterans into a panic mode. Anyway, this is not the end of the world. It's actually a very exciting time. Instead of having to rely on our previous knowledge from the JP and KR Uma Musume, now we actually have to think and theory craft and come up with a brand new strategy. A lot of other content creators already went over all the changes that is happening on this balance adjustment, which is happening on November 11th. So instead, I'm going to go over my best recommendation for the best use of SSR Selector and the limit breaker that we'll be getting on the half anniversary, while taking account of these new balance adjustments. For the maximum value, first, part 1 of half anniversary celebration mission is currently live and will give you scout tickets, 500 carats, and various rewards. But the most important item that we're most looking forward to, the SSR Selector, is coming out with the part 3 mission for the half anniversary, which will come out on the same day as the Rise and Riko banner. And the missions are pretty straightforward. They are tied to the Unity Cup scenario mechanics. So if you play through the scenario multiple times, you'll be able to get the SSR Selector tickets within a couple of days. And this SSR Selector ticket will allow you to choose any SSR support cards of your choice from the half anniversary support card pools, which include all the support card released up to the summer banner, with the sweep token and winning ticket. This unfortunately means that Nice Nature, Wit card, and the Rise and Riko card won't be included on this selector. And the 2 banners later, around the time when the Agnes Digital banner release, Cygames will also release a new item called SSR Limit Breaker, also known as a Rainbow Limit Break Crystal. And you get this item by combining 20 Rainbow Break fragments, which will be given out through various missions and from the limited event. There's also the Gold Limit Break Crystal, which works same way as the Rainbow Limit Break Crystal, which you can use to limit break any SR card that you have. And on the first day when it's released, we'll be getting 1 Rainbow Limit Break Crystal and Gold Limit Break Crystal for free. And then we're just given and sent directly to your present box on the JP server. After the first one, you'll be able to collect them by participating in various events, which will be giving out a number of these Rainbow Limit Break fragments by playing the event. And once you collect 20 of those fragments, you will be able to form another Rainbow Limit Break Crystal that you can use for any SSR support card. And yes, I mean literally any SSR support card. Unlike the SSR Selector, which has limited range on which support card that you can use for, these SSR Limit Breaker could be used on literally any support card that you currently have at least 1 copy of. And that includes support cards that's released in the future. These are amazing value items that could potentially save you up to 30,000 carats. And we get them very infrequently, so you want to really make sure that you utilize them for the best use possible and not just waste it on the bad support cards. And my banner preview timeline, which is a separate tab on the carat calculator, we'll show you on which banner you will be able to create another SSR Limit Breaker, assuming you participated on all the events and farmed every available rainbow fragments. Just use them as a rough estimate to figure out when you'll be able to get the next complete Limit Breaker. But first, before I go over the best use for the SSR Selector and the Limit Break Crystal, let me go over a couple of ground rules on using the Selector and the Limit Break Crystal. First rule is to only use them when it's necessary. If you're planning on rolling on the upcoming banner, try not to use them right away. These are very rare items and their worth is very high, so you don't want to waste them willy-nilly, and they do not come with the expiration date. For example, if you're planning on rolling on any upcoming support card banner like the Nice Nature or the 100 free pulls that we're getting on the Rise and Riko banner, finish rolling on the banners first before you use the Selector and the Limit Break Crystal. It's possible that the card that you're planning on using the SSR Selector and the Limit Breaker for you to roll them randomly on the off-rate banner. I mean, the chance of that happening is really low, but you never know what happened. So do not waste them right away until you're done rolling on the upcoming banners. Second, do not waste them on a low limit break cards. As you guys may know, even the MLB SR cards in this game are fairly strong. SSR card, they only become better than the MLB SR card when they're around 3 LB or above. So there's no point of using the SSR Selector and a Limit Break Crystal on a support card, which you only have a low limit break on, unless you're able to use them to bring them up to high limit break, like preferably to MLB or at least 3LB. If not, you'll most likely not be using those low limit break SSR cards, even after you use the SSR Selector and a Limit Break Crystal on them. But Henry, I want to use the selector to get a copy of Fine Motion so that I can slowly use the SSR Limit Breaker to bring her up to MLB. And that's totally fine. But save the selector and the Limit Break Crystal until you have enough to bring it up to 3LB or MLB. Because they don't have an expiration date, you don't have to use them right away. Just hold on to them. You can use them once you have enough selector and the Limit Break Crystal for your original need, or sometime it might come with a different use for them later on a different banner. Now let's go over my recommendation on the best use of SSR Selector and the Limit Break Crystal. I know that many players are eager to use their selector and the Limit Break Crystal on their 2LB Kitasan Black to be able to use her right away, 6 weeks earlier. That way, you can completely ignore pulling for her on our rerun banner. And that's what I was planning on recommending before the news for the balance adjustment. However, with the new balance adjustment, the El Condor Pasa power card that's on the same banner also got a significant buff on the Gold Skill Killer Tune, where the base duration has increased more than twofold. So El Condor Pasa became one of the best power cards for the Unity Cup scenario for the medium distance race. And with her 10% race bonus, she will also be a strong card during the next scenario making a new track. So if you need additional copies of Kitasan and have enough carats to do 1 to 2 pities, it might be more beneficial to wait until the rerun banner for the chance to MLB both Kitasan Black and also the El Condor Pasa power card. However, if you're planning on pulling on this banner using your carat, I will still recommend you to hold on to your SSR Selector and the Limit Break Crystal until you run out of carats. Because even with 1 or 2 pities, getting MLB SSR support cards is not guaranteed. You will still want to hold on to them just in case you have bad luck on the banner, like I did for the Nice Nature. However, I think there's 2 support cards that could better utilize the SSR Selector and the Limit Break Crystal, and they are Fine Motion and Super Creek. The reason is all about the timing. While it will be amazing for you to use it on Kitasan right away, within just 2 months, we'll be having a Kitasan rerun banner. However, the rerun banner for Fine Motion and Super Creek are much farther down the line. Though it will be amazing for you to have an MLB Kitasan so that you can use her for the upcoming Burgo Cup and the Libra Cup. If you have at least 1 LB Fine Motion or 1 LB Super Creek, it might be better to use the selector and the Limit Break Crystal on Fine Motion or Super Creek and just wait until the rerun banner to MLB Kitasan. Let's say you have 2 LB Fine Motion, Super Creek, and Kitasan. On which cards should you use the SSR Selector and the Limit Breaker? They are all S tier support cards that are all very important. Out of the 3, in my opinion, the Fine Motion is the best choice out of the 3. On my previous video, I already go over why Fine Motion is so strong during the Unity Cup scenario. Fine Motion is just built differently when compared to every other with cards. Also, the start of Unity Cup scenario is on fall season, and half of the Champions meeting is right-handed. And Fine Motion provides hint for both right-handed and fall runner on a single card. So out of the 3 options, Fine Motion would definitely be the strongest pick for the Unity Cup scenario. But if you don't even have a single copy of Fine Motion, do not use the selector and the Limit Breaker on a Fine Motion. Just use it on different card or hoard them, like I mentioned before, until you are able to at least be able to get 3LB Fine Motion or MLB Fine Motion. The second best card to use your SSR Selector and a Limit Breaker is Super Creek. Although she won't be used as much during the Unity Cup scenario, other than for Libra Cup, this does not change the fact she is still the strongest stamina card in the game and will be for quite a while. I already talked about her pros and cons extensively on my previous videos, but the main reason why you want to use the selector and the Limit Breaker on Super Creek is because we already had her banner a couple months ago, and we won't have her rerun banner until a year later. So only way to get additional Limit Break copies of Super Creek is by pulling her off banner or using your selector and a Limit Break crystal. If you're able to MLB her right away, soon you'll be able to put her into good use during the long distance champions meeting, Libra Cup, and potentially on medium and long distance champions meeting. So Fine Motion and Super Creek are the only 2 cards that I would recommend you to use the SSR Selector and Limit Breaker over Kitasan. Else, I think it's best for you to hold on to them until you roll on Kitasan rerun banner. But what about the Guts card? Aren't they going to get buffed on the upcoming balance adjustment? While it's true that Guts is getting buffed on November 11th, they do not take priority over the 3 cards that I mentioned above, which are Fine Motion, Super Creek, and Kitasan Black. These 3 cards are still the main priority over any other Guts card, no matter how buffed they gotten on the upcoming balance adjustment. Even if they're getting buffed, who actually has MLB Guts card that they can utilize right away? The only upcoming Guts banner is Ekuna Dictus. She's actually a really strong Guts card. She gives 15% race bonus and tons of stamina through her training events. And also, the feet. But who other than Dolphins and Whale are going to have enough carats to pull for her between the Rise and Riko banner, Kitasan Black rerun banner, Nice Nature, or Fine Motion? And you're not going to be borrowing this card over Fine Motion, Super Creek, or Rice Shower during Unity Cup scenario. Guts card, while they are strong stat stick cards, even on Make a New Track scenario, when Guts card originally gotten buffed in the JP and the KR server, they were still only mainly used in sprint and mile distance race. And I'm not sure if we'll be able to utilize Guts card during the Unity Cup scenario like we did on Make a New Track scenario, where we got tons of more stats and skill points through the new scenario mechanics. Another issue with Guts card is that their gold skill is generally weaker when compared to stamina and power cards. Some of them are just outright bad or useless for the distance that you want to run them for, compared to stamina and power card, which comes with the strongest gold skills for their respective distance. Even for the upcoming miles distance champions meeting, Virgo Cup, out of all the frontrunner, I think only Summer Marjensky will maybe be able to utilize the Guts build. Every other frontrunner will still prefer to run Helio Power Card for the Mile skill and Speed Eater, which is also getting buffed on the upcoming balance adjustment. Triple frontrunner with triple Speed Eater is about to go insane for the next champions meeting. And for medium and long distance champions meeting, it's hard to prioritize them over stamina or power card. They're just in the awkward spot. I'm not writing them off as totally unusable. I bet some advanced player will be able to take advantage of Guts build during the Unity Cup scenario. However, only the few with the correct knowledge and the support card will be able to run Guts build. I think for average player, I will still recommend to stay away from Guts build for now. Still, I'll definitely try out the Guts build once the new patch release for the upcoming Virgo Cup. If you already have MLB Fine Motion, Super Creek, and Kitasan, where should you use your SSR Selector and the Limit Breaker? Or if you want to use your Selector and Limit Breaker right away, what are some of the other choices that you can use them for? I will just quickly go over them in random order. Pico Pegasus could be a good pick if you already have her in high limit break, like 3LB. Ikunadictus card would probably be the best Guts card to go for if you're planning on wailing on her. Saving the limit break crystal could be beneficial. Yaina Muteki, while she won't be used very much during Unity Cup scenario, because Unity Cup scenario providing hints for instants for free. However, I have seen some cases where Korean player still ran Yaina Muteki to get its on in cheaper price, or to get playtime is over. You could also use it on Nice Nature if you got unlucky on her banner like me. Matikane Fuku Kitaru could also be a good pick. And other Guts card that could potentially be great, Ines Fujin and Midjuro Palmer. She actually gets a significant buff after the balance adjustment and will be a very strong Guts card for the front runner. However, she's kind of awkward as her gold skill is for long distance only. It's really hard to run Guts card on a long distance race. Her main benefit is the hints that she provides, like fast paced, early lead, which is also getting buffed, some green skills, and a front runner straight away, but will most likely get replaced by Miona Bourbon when she's given out for free on the Halloween event. And while I don't really recommend it, you can use the Limit Break Crystal on Rice Shower or Riko Kashimoto if you want to be really strong during the Unity Cup scenario. However, do remember the Rice Shower falls off after the Unity Cup scenario. And Riko Kashimoto will only be used during Make a New Track scenario if she's MLB'd. But since their banner is currently up at the moment, if you want additional copies, it's always better to just pull on the banner if you can afford it. So surprisingly, even after the balance adjustment, my recommendation hasn't really changed very much. Other than the fact that now I recommend you to roll on Kitasan rerun banner instead of using your Selector and Crystal first. Every other recommendation pretty much stays the same. Still, the highest priority are Fine Motion and Super Creek. Who would have thought that good cards are still good even after the balance adjustment? Anyway, this was my recommendation for the best use of SSR Selector and the Limit Break Crystal. Remember that these are my recommendation, but at the end of the day, what you decide to do with them is totally up to you. However, I hope that this video was able to help you on making that decision. Whatever card you decide to use them on, just remember the ground rule and use them only when they're necessary, and do not waste them on a low limit break cards. And if you have any more questions, you can feel free to leave a comment down below or join the Henry Handsome Discord server to ask opinion from other trainers. And I would like to thank my contributors Kia, Tao, Merkel, Cal the New, Teku, Brian Goldsberry, Burst, Jamin Taylor, Tama, and Groggle. And thank you Kisune Deshi for your generous donation. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a handsome day.